Back in the day, football players were paid £30 a week, and they played sports just purely for the love of the game. Teams had daily wage workers coming from different counties compete every weekend. And cut to 2017, PSG bought Neymar Jr. from Barcelona for a crazy 222 million euros. That's like 2,000 crore rupees and 9 million euros more than the GDP of the country Burundi. This transfer has gone down in history, and it just goes to show that how much the game has changed and evolved since then. Welcome to On The Money, and today we're breaking down the business of how players get transferred both in international football and the IPL. FIFA revealed that 2019 was a record year in terms of money spent by clubs, a total of $7.35 billion. Our focus for this video is the economics behind these transfers. So let's get started with the basics first. A transfer is a sport league transaction between sporting clubs involving an exchange of players from one team to another. In the late 1880s in England, there were no rules and regulations in football. There was no governing body, and playing football wasn't even considered a full-time job. Players could just choose whichever club they want to play for. It was very much like, मेरा बॉल है तो मैं ही team decide करूँगा. Now, the only incentives players had to switch from one team to another was money. Club owners would just poach the best players from each other, offering them more money. So in the middle of the season, between week-to-week matches, the player would just switch the teams because क्या ही कर लेगा कोई? If this is how it was going to be, then the clubs with the most money would just keep getting the best players, and they would have a monopoly because they would always win. So all the club owners came together and petitioned for a football association to be formed. This organization, the FA, then set the rules and regulations so that nobody could steal players anymore. Players were required to register with the Football Association at the beginning of the season that they would play for so-and-so team for that season. That meant that they weren't allowed to switch and change their mind later as they were contractually bound. This was good for the clubs because this put a stop at players getting poached. Then if they wanted to go play for another team, both the clubs had to agree. As there were more such exchanges happening, the concept of transfers came along. The clubs figured out that they could just charge a fee for releasing a player from his contract and letting him transfer to a different club while making some profit for themselves. That way everyone was happy, both the clubs and the player. Clubs have been transferring and trading players in hopes of making a better teams for decades now. It's strategic to a point that it can make or break a club. Now, say for example, I play for Manchester United. A sentence that shouldn't have made you laugh as much as it did. Say, for instance, I play for Manchester United and Real Madrid wants me. Just go with it, man. So my transfer depends on, number one, whether I'm currently under contract, if it's getting over or I'm in the middle of it. Then Manchester United has to agree to let me go. Then, if they do agree to let me go, Real Madrid has to offer Manchester United the money that they expect. Number four, my agent has to agree if Real Madrid's offer is enough money because he gets a cut too. Number five, whether I in fact want to transfer to Real Madrid. And lastly, whether it is actually transfer season. There are two official time periods in the football season when transfers are allowed. They are usually summer transfer window and winter transfer window. So the real question is, how does Real Madrid decide how much to pay for me? So, the price depends on a discussion between four groups of people. Manchester United, Real Madrid, my agent and myself. The negotiation of the price depends on how much they think the player is worth. How good I am, the duration of contract I have left with United, the commercial value and potential value, meaning how much money they estimate I can make for them. Once this price is decided and everybody agrees, the transfer happens. But who actually gets the cold hard cash? When you read 222 million euros for Neymar, that actually means that PSG paid Barcelona that much amount of money, not Neymar. Transfer fees are paid out to the club after paying the agent's commission. The club then pays the player a fee, which is mentioned in his contract. So Neymar's dad, who by the way is also his agent, reportedly got 45 million euros, and then PSG paid Neymar around 54 million euros before taxes. The perceived worth of a football player is everything. That's why clubs spend as much as they do so that they can make more money off the player. But some players are free agents, meaning that they don't actually belong to any specific club. A free agent is a player who is allowed to choose his next club without discussing it with the current one, as his contract with that club has already ended. For players with high market value, clubs try to make transfers before their contract expires so that they can make good money off of them. But that's not always the case. And free doesn't mean that the club getting the player doesn't have to pay at all. So when PSG gets Messi as a free agent, they still pay his salary, which at Barcelona was roughly 4.8 crore rupees per week. And I still can't believe that he went as a free agent to PSG. But at least now we get to see Neymar and Messi play together again. These transfers have to be above board and they have to happen with everyone's knowledge. The reason that there are rules in place is to avoid any poaching or shady deals. FIFA keeps an eye out for any sort of foul play. Some clubs also try to transfer players without going through proper channels. This is called tapping up. While it's not illegal, FIFA hands out punishment when a club tries to poach a player. In 2005, the then Arsenal left-back Ashley Cole was spotted with the former Chelsea manager Jose Mourinho in London, and as a result of which, everyone got fined. Recently, Jadon Sancho, a 21-year-old winger, was transferred from Borussia Dortmund to Manchester United for around £73 million. This transfer was still considered to be a bargain, which goes to show that how common these big numbers have become in the football transfer market. Well, closer to home, we have the IPL, which is the fourth most profitable sporting league in the whole world. It is projected to earn $7 billion a year despite being played for only 2 months. In rupees, that's 52,000 crores, which is 1,000 crores for each week of the year. The IPL was inspired by the NFL in America, and we adapted an auction system to pick teams. IPL auctions are like video games. Everyone is given the same kit to begin with, a finite amount of money. This is called the player purse. Each franchise has a purse of rupees 85 crores and they are required to spend at least 75% of its player purse to make their IPL lineup. Suppose a team only spends 65% of the total money. Then the extra 10% will go to the governing body. To get into the pool of cricketers who will be auctioned off, you have to be shortlisted by the BCCI. Once you're shortlisted, you can participate in the auction by setting your own base price, which basically is the minimum amount of money that a player can decide for themselves, an amount from where the bidding will start from. There are two types of auctions basically, mini auctions and mega auctions. So these mega auctions happen every 3 years, and according to BCCI rules, a team can retain up to 5 players. So what teams generally do is that they retain their core members, like Mumbai Indians did last time. They retained Captain Rohit Sharma, Hardik Pandya and Jasprit Bumrah. The other players who didn't get retained go under the hammer, and then they are bought by other teams or maybe sometimes even the same team. Whether they play or not, once a player is auctioned off, they get paid. Glenn Maxwell, who was bought by Mumbai Indians in 2013 for 7.45 crores, played just 3 games that season but received his full salary. And in case of injuries, they get 50% of their salaries. The IPL also allows player transfers. In case a team wants a particular player to be transferred, they have to put in a request with the BCCI, and both the teams and the player have to agree. The BCCI is very strict when it comes to player policy, and if players and teams are found negotiating contracts independently, they face a ban. Famously, Sir Ravindra Jadeja had to miss out a season in 2010 as a punishment for not signing the renewal contract with Rajasthan Royals and trying to negotiate a bigger financial contract with some other IPL team. In the IPL, the team chooses you and not the other way around. Now, teams want a marketable face so that more brands would want to advertise with them. And of course, good players too, because there's not just glory in winning, there's money as well. Now, the reason so much money gets spent in the IPL is because of the broadcasting rights, the title and the brand sponsorship. The BCCI sold the broadcasting and the streaming rights for the IPL for $2.6 billion to Star India for a 5-year period. And to add to that, they sold the title sponsorship to Vivo for 2,190 crores. After taking its own share, the BCCI passes the rest of the earnings to the teams. Now, unlike football, IPL is still in its early days, and it has its plans of expansion. Next year will be the 15th season where BCCI is planning to add 2 more teams. This makes the next mega auction of IPL even more interesting. And as for football, the transfer market is going to be extremely exciting as we have many generational talents waiting eagerly to join the big European clubs. So, thank you so much for watching this episode of On The Money. Like, share and subscribe to Cred's YouTube channel for more money matters, and let us know in comments which is your all-time favorite transfer. Mine was Hazard when he joined Real Madrid. Oh my god, that was so cool. But I was really sad when he never got to play because he was injured all the time. But anyway, that's another video, I guess. Thanks for watching.